Hello YouTube, today at powerjackrepair.org we got a battery connector replacement. The client sent the laptop and a battery connector to us, and I will try to show you how we're gonna work on that. Alright, so that's alright, just making sure that everything working fine. This is the ripped off battery connector, and what I did was I cleaned up the pads already, so the pads are nice and clean and they flush with the motherboard. All right, and we got the replacement connector, and it's really hard to get to the pins on the bottom because they're covered by this metal piece here, so I'm not sure how exactly that's gonna work. I don't want to use hot air because the whole connector gonna melt. What you see on the front right now, it's not a melted connector, but it's a flux from me cleaning the board. So I'm placing this guy on top. All right, I mean, I've done those kind of repairs before, just not for this particular model, I think. So let's take a look. Let's take a look. Let's guide it in place and see if you're gonna be able to. So guide it in place like that. Oh, so the pad turn off right here, right? And this pad is right there. Now let's align the pads in the back like that. The good thing that this pad and that pad are alive, meaning I can solder stuff to it. All right, so my question is, would I be able to use a small soldering iron to reach these guys here? And would I be able to do something about this guy here? All right. Let's try. Let's try. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put some flux, and we try not to move the whole thing. All right. Now we're gonna hold the piece steady. We're gonna find our tiniest soldering iron, which I got here. And let's see if you're gonna be able to shove the tiny soldering iron into this tiny little stuff starts to move. All right. Not sure if it did work or it didn't work. We will check in a second. All right. What I need to do is I need to add more flux because I only added flux to the right side, not the left side, and I want to go through it one more time. All right. Let's take a look. It's those kind of repairs where having $1,000 microscope and $1,000 soldering iron helps a lot. I mean, I would not be able to do it without this particular microscope. I mean, I have a microscope for like $400 laying around here, but I'm sure it's not gonna be as comfortable as this guy. All right, so how would I check if all of that got soldered? Also, I want to solder this pad here. Right here. I know it's as weird for me as it's for you, upside down soldering. Let's add a little bit more flux. All right. All right. This side right here was already damaged prior me receiving the laptop. So this plastic on the SSD, let's by the way check if all of the SSD traces are fine. Yeah, they seem like fine, every single one of those. There is something in between those traces here. Let's remove it to avoid any short. You see right here. Let's try and get it out of there, because I don't want to be blamed for shorting the SSD chip. Everything else seems to be all right. Something melted right here. Again, that's not exactly my fault, but here. Are they all nice and clean? Yeah, all nice and clean. All right. Now, there's no easy way to test the pads here. I mean, go figure if each one is soldered or not. Hard to say. I mean, here I don't... I mean, here I feel the... And this is moved all the way here, so... Here I feel some bump on the motherboard itself, which probably goes into the pin itself. Here I feel the bump on the motherboard as well. Here I feel the bump. Here I feel the bump, but here I don't feel the bump. So probably this one is not soldered well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little bit more solder to the soldering iron and hope all right, looks good, looks good. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm probably gonna clean this guy up right now. Hopefully this is soldered into the board. All right. Clean up the iron. Let's see if we can find a better focus here. Now let's clean this guy up. All right. This is a no-lint cloth. Kim Wipes it's called. And on top of it is the cotton. I'm just making sure that all of the 99% alcohol gonna be removed, so that once we connect the battery, you see it's still underneath there. It's impossible, close to impossible to clean everything underneath. Let's try and use the all right, that way we're gonna be able to reach all the way there. All right. All right, let's try and do this like that. All right, I'm not putting any pressure onto anything. I'm just trying to clean up stuff around the connector. I will dry it out in a second. What's that here? Let's see. Is this the way how it's supposed to be? All right, everything looks good. We want to clean the top of the battery terminals as well, because that's where the current is going to be going through. All right. Good job. Good job. All right, let's see if we can open this guy up. All right, if I want to open it, I just want to hold this side a little bit more. All right, and this guy opens up. Now let's clean it one more time. Uh-oh. Don't go all the way out. Don't. Yeah, like that. All right. And like that. Like that. Like that. Okay. Let's fire up air. Just some air to dry the alcohol off. All right, good job. Okay, good job. Excellent. Didn't melt anything, I hope, because it was like set on the minimum. The heat was set on the minimum. All right, so let's shut down the soldering stuff. And let's switch back to the main screen. And let's see if this thing gonna be showing us any power going through. All right. I apologize, the exhaust fan is so loud. I needed to shut it down. Okay, let's see where we have the voltmeter. Hold on 1 second. All right, I had to fix the angle at which the camera is displaying everything here. All right. Vibration gonna stop any moment now. Alrighty. Let's put the microphone a bit closer. Can you hear me now? All right, so this is an Asus GA502L ROG Zephyrus, a Republic of Gamers. And if you have exactly the same problem, if you want in and you disconnect the battery, the first thing you need to do is to move this guy that way and then pull the battery out. Many people don't pull this guy that way. They just pull on this whole thing. And at the end, you will get, you know, let me zoom in a little bit. All right, so once you rip out those pads in there, usually the only thing I can do is I can solder those wires right here, wires from the battery. I could remove the connector here, chop off the wires here, strip the wires and connect the wires directly to the motherboard here. There are 3 black wires, that's a ground. There are 3 red wires, that's a plus. And I could connect them to the terminals, to the nearest terminals plus and nearest minuses. Now the other 2, the yellow and the white, that's gonna be a pain for me to solder directly to the motherboard. But this client, he found the replacement connector. There was only 1 pad missing. The pad was missing for the ground. which is not soldered here, so meaning that missing ground pad, that's basically for support only. It's only does support right here is where the support is at. So because it's only for support reasons and it's not and it's missing, it's no big deal. It's nothing. It's just for stability purposes. This one is not missing, so this one I soldered too, and I soldered this one, 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 and that one. All right. So all of those are soldered. So we got the 3 red wires. We got the 3 black wires. They all go to the different cell. I assume 1, 2, 3, 4. Or is it? Oh no, it's only 1, 2. It seems like 2 cells here. 1, 2. Yeah, 1 and 2. This should be a 2 cell. So I assume it's just this cell right here and a cell right here. So 2 cells, this and that. So again, in general, we only fix these guys right here, but people send us this stuff as well because they rip this guy out. Seems like somebody already did something here, disconnected the cables here. This is the aftermarket tape here. And again, somebody already tried to fix something here because I see the meltdown on this stuff here. It wasn't my fault. There is no point using hot air here because everything can be blown off the motherboard. All right, so yeah. So let me make sure that every one of those pads is conducting the electricity. All right. All right, let's see. Found the cheapest voltmeter I got here. So this one we got plus, we got, ooh. All right, bad news. All right, so we got this one conducting fine, this one conducting fine, and this one does not conduct anything. This guy is fine, that guy is fine. So yellow and white, I'm sorry, this one is white, this one is yellow. You can't even see. Okay, so this one is yellow. So, all right. So on the plus side, we got the first one conducting fine. The second is not fine. Third one is fine. The white one is fine. The yellow one is fine. The black one here. Let me calibrate the whole thing. Hold on. Let's do that. All right. So the ground seems like not to be the total ground. No, it's total ground. Okay, so let's say ground, ground, and ground. All right. So the reason I checked it with the multimeter because we got the second one not conducting through this one. So I need to power up everything again and touch up the solder joint on the other side for the second one here. I want to make sure I know exactly what I'm looking at because it's going to be flipped like that. And it's impossible to see anything with the naked eyes. Seems fine, but there is no current going through the second. All right, this guy is moved already, so okay here. So no current going through, like nothing here. Nothing. So my goal is to put a bit more flux. Try to put more on the pad on the bottom. The pad is basically on the motherboard, and then hopefully it's gonna suck up into this pin here. All right. All right, so this is a zoom in on that contact, the second from the right, and it seems fine, right? But I guess there is the solder is on the pad, so the solder is on the pad, but so you see this pad is here, so it's on the pad, but there is no solder on this guy, so it doesn't contact. Here you see how this one is kind of glued to this one, kind of here, here, here. All right, so this is more solid, and this one is just a blob here, but without touching this, you would never be able to see it, no matter what you do. All right, so let's power up the hot air station, not the hot air, the tiny soldering iron. Let's add a bit more flux again. And now what I'm gonna be heating up, I'm gonna heating up that leg. That tiny leg is what I'm gonna be heating up with the soldering iron. There's enough solder there, so all I need to do is shove this guy in there really carefully. And heat up the leg itself. All right. All right. Looks good. Does everything else looks good? All right. Let's measure the voltage right now. You know what I would rather clean up first. All right, so let's measure the continuity again on this pin here, on the second one. Open this guy up. All right, so you see right there, the second one is now conducting the electricity just fine. This one is fine, this one is fine. So the three pluses are fine. I guess this one was the white one. That's the, that's not the yellow one, it's turned out to be like a salad one. Not solid, salad. This one is black. And for some reason, let's see. I should have one of those brand new coming in a second now. Like any minute it should be out in the mail because this one is not doing its job properly. All right, so right there. Yeah. So the whole thing conducts electricity just fine. What I want to do is I want to let it dry a little bit using the pads. Once everything is dry here, air dry it basically, then connect the battery. The battery is right here, and hopefully the battery gonna be working fine. Now that's not gonna be today because I want it to dry overnight so that nothing would short, because if any one of those capacitors around here would short, I don't wanna mess up what's supposed to be working fine. All right guys, this is how I replace the connectors on the motherboard. Basically, unless you have $1,000 microscope and another $1,000 tiny soldering iron, like a standard soldering iron, just not gonna get there. I mean, this cover right here, it's not gonna let you put a big, if it's not a microscopic soldering iron, there is no point. Seems like there is some heating up going on right here. You can see the heat spots here on those guys, two of them, first and the second one. This one seems to be also not discolorated, so and there is something here on this guy. So, but yeah, this is a common laptop to come here for the project repair. All right guys, thanks so much for watching, and please leave a like, subscribe, and you guys take care and have a good day. Thanks.